Hey, good Monday morning, my friends. MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregosa here with the MLive Morning Weather Update. We're going to look at the whole week. I think we got the week figured out. It's kind of a regular weather cycle. Ahead of the cold front today will be warm and humid to hot and humid. Cold front comes through the state, through lower Michigan, from northwest to southeast tomorrow and tomorrow night. And think about the days there. And then Wednesday through Friday, we have a little bit lower humidity, maybe a touch cooler for a couple of days before we head to a warm up again for the weekend. Hey, good morning, Carmelita Tiffany. Ludington had some rain. Hey, did you hear what happened in Milwaukee? Wow, I'm going to write a post about that, show a rainfall total map. Maybe I'll try to get it for you here. But 12 inches of rain in places around the Milwaukee area. So fortunately, we missed out on that. And I do have to remind you that a warmer atmosphere does produce more rain. So I always encourage people, if you're building something and you get to the drainage discussion, if a parking lot was supposed to have been modeled for a 3-inch rain before, make it a 5-inch rain. If it's 5-inch rain, make it a 7, because the heavier rains are increasing on the warmth. Here's a look at the current radar. And just out over Lake Michigan, the eastern part of the UP, otherwise the rest of lower Michigan is dry. And we do have, some sunshine around, also with some hazy conditions. This is actually smoke coming from the west, from Colorado. We have our own forest fires here in the U.S., not as widespread as what's currently going on in Canada, but we have some. Pretty typical. Now, tomorrow afternoon and evening, I feel like there could be a chance of severe thunderstorms. And this is what the Storm Prediction Center says: a 5% chance of a severe wind gust in the central part of the UP tomorrow. They make this odd shape. I think we're going to see an update probably this morning after the 11 o'clock in the morning model runs. We'll probably see an update to a larger, still 5%, but probably across much of lower Michigan. And I'll show you why here. So let's get into the models, radar forecast. And we go through the afternoon, and really just some thunderstorms around the Mackinac Straits region. Maybe this afternoon, this evening, a little line of scattered thunder showers in the thumb. But generally today is what I would call a dry day. Then we go through the night tonight, and it appears as though a warm front brings an area of showers and thunder showers from the south. And then the cold front starts to travel through. This is tomorrow afternoon, 3, 4, 5, 6. So a couple of clumps of storms ahead of the cold front. The cold front line from the UP into northern Lake Michigan. And then during the night, the cold front line slips south. And by Wednesday morning sometime, probably shifting out of the state. Here's a good longer range, wider perspective thing. So this is the same look, but from a different model. This is 3 and 4 and 5 this afternoon. So this model is pretty smart, and it does something that certainly could happen, and that would be a line of thunderstorms through the thumb. That's a very common thing to happen at this time of the year. Now we go through the night tonight, and then I think this one has a good handle on the general picture of the cold front tomorrow. This is 4 and 5 and 6 in the afternoon, and this is tomorrow evening, and this is Wednesday morning at 7 o'clock. So basically, we'll call it numerous clumps of thunderstorms during the day tomorrow and tomorrow night, and over with by Wednesday. Let's even see if this one shows drier air mass coming in. So this is the dew point forecast, and we have dew points around 70 today. So it's going to be muggy, even in the low 70s, so quite muggy. Let's see if as the cold front comes through. This is Wednesday early afternoon. You can see the dew points starting to go down from Saginaw to Alma, Mount Pleasant, northward. Okay. So eventually we do get a break in humidity, probably for, I would say, Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, maybe Friday. Now, longer term, this is the model that, we like to look at for 3 and 4 and 5 days out. And this is what it says for a 6-hour total precip on Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday evening. So in other words, just about everybody has a shot at a thunderstorm. This model doesn't do well with thunderstorm precipitation amounts. So this would be the low end. And then, of course, in thunderstorms, you can have an inch plus rain. And then we go to Wednesday, and it's dry. And we go to Thursday, and it's dry. And Friday, and the next clump of thunderstorms makes sense, probably coming about Saturday. Why does it make sense? Because it's about 4 days apart now on any thunderstorm activity. Temperatures will be hot in the east today. Saginaw, Caro, Bay City, the Thumb, Flint, all of the Detroit area, Ann Arbor, 88 to 92, high humidity. A little bit cooler. Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo in the low to mid 80s, and you go north to Traverse City and Cadillac, upper 70s. So that's really pretty nice as well. Tomorrow, still hot in the southeast, Ann Arbor and Detroit. You continue to swelter, high humidity and in the low 90s. Then Wednesday, a lot of us start to feel somewhat cooler. The west side of the state, northwest side of the state's been in the upper 70s to low 80s for a day or two. Thursday looks very nice, 70s and 80s. Friday starting to bounce back to mid 80s, and then here's the weekend, next weekend. And let's give you some extended stuff, okay? So here's the upper airflow on the ensemble version of the European. There's our bend in the jet stream for tomorrow. To me, that has the makings of a line of severe thunderstorms. Just have to keep an eye on it. And then as we go to the weekend, the heights in the atmosphere build. That means it's starting to warm up. There's that big ridge through the middle part of the country, and Michigan's on the northern edge of it. Now we're at August 18th, and the ridge continues to build but moves back to the west. But the atmosphere continues to stay expanded and warmer than normal. This is out to August 26th. That would continue a very summer-like pattern. And in fact, that's what the long-range forecasters indicate. So 6 to 10 day forecast. What is that? About an 80% chance of warmer than normal conditions. And the rainfall, not a sure bet. 8 to 14 day, August 18th to 24th. Warmer than normal. We don't like that. Us gardeners and landscapers. Below normal precip. 3 to 4 week outlook into September 5th. Yikes. Warmer than normal, and look at the bullseye of drier than normal conditions. So I think the thing here to do is I'm going to start to put out this warning to you. Start watering your freshly planted trees and shrubs because they may have not gone through a good take hold cycle. For example, I planted quite a few late July. Of course, I know at that time of the year I got to water them, and I did water the heck out of them. They made it through the winter. Of course, we went into the drought last summer and fall and really not much rain, so I watered the heck out of them. Laid off a little bit this spring. Now I'm back to watering just because I got a lot of time, effort, and money into these shrubs. They look healthy, and I don't want them to take a downturn until we get to a wet pattern. So that would be my advice to you. Think of moving a tree as a a full 1 year, almost a little more than 1 year cycle, because it's got to go through that wet fall period where the roots really take hold, send out, can start to gather water efficiently, and then your things are established. So that's my advice from Mark today. Take care, have yourselves a great Monday, and sorry, I'm a gardener. I like to landscape, and I like to see a rain occasionally, so let's keep our fingers crossed, all of us that need some rain, that we'll get it here in the next 2 days, tomorrow and tomorrow night. Take care. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa.